Hey guys, I'm Kyle,
And I'm Kelly.
and we are Places Yet to See Travel. And today we just kind of want to introduce ourselves and tell you who we are and kind of let you get to know us.
Okay.
So we're parents of two, one preteen and one teenager.
One preteen and one teen. Both boys.
Yeah, and trying to get this video started, we're having to kick them outside, so the house is quiet. If you hear all of a sudden rumblings in the background, they've come back in.
Oh Lord, heaven forbid.
But we started. We've been married nearly 23 years
Yep,
now, and
23 years.
we started cruising. I believe it was on our 10th wedding anniversary. Fifth wedding anniversary. I surprised her with a cruise, and we fell in love with cruising.
Yes.
I planned all the details out, and she can tell you what she thought of that.
Oh, he had made my boss have me stay an extra week in our old home, in our old town. We had moved to a town. We were working in the town. We didn't quit our jobs. He got transferred to another store, and he had my boss make me stay an extra week. So I was excited to see him. I was going to see him for a week. I hadn't seen him for a week. And then I get home and he's out on the porch, out on the phone. I was so mad. Oh, I was so mad. And so finally, I tried to make myself look really pretty. I was like, oh, I get to see you. And then finally, I just was like, I'm done. I went in, I washed my face, I put on a clay mask, I put my hair up, and I just went and sat in the chair and I just pouted.
I walk in the house. What you didn't know is I was finishing up the last minute details right before you leave. Never cruised. We were having to, we were driving to the Metroplex, the Dallas Metroplex, which is about 5 hours from
which we had just had a nephew born, and he told me we were going to go see our nephew for Easter. I was excited to go see our
so we were going to go see our brand new nephew, but I was working out transportation to the airport and the Metroplex to fly us to Houston, arranging the final details of getting our transfer from, because I didn't know about cruise line transfers at the time. I was getting us transferred from Houston Hobby International Airport to Galveston Pier to meet, at the time it was the Splendor of the Seas, which is no longer in service, with Royal Caribbean. I think they've sold it, or anyway, I digress. So I take her on the ship. I surprise her the night before we leave. Here's the itinerary. Here's what we're doing.
And crow. Crow tastes horrible. Just saying. Crow tastes horrible. But I fell in love with cruising. I'd wanted to go on one, but I didn't realize how much I was going to love it.
And we had a great time.
Yes.
We went and saw, I did discover scuba, and when she found out I planned that, she said, quote, "You planned this for you."
Yes, I did say that. I did.
And I know she loves history. She loves seeing the world and hearing the history about it. So I had planned the Choctaw Mayan ruins in Costa Maya for her.
And oh my gosh, they had just started unearthing them. And we actually got to go back. We went just recently. We went this past June. June. We went this past June, and it was 15 years later. When we went 15 years ago, they had just started unearthing Temple 2.
I'll be honest, I don't remember. They had one of the temples unearthed. They really didn't have the plaza. I don't know that they're unearthing them as much as clearing the jungle away from them.
But even then, it was so neat to go back 15 years later and see how much they had uncovered and hear how much more of the history that they had uncovered. So if you are a history nut, Choctaw temples in Costa Maya at Kitayara is wow. It's fantastic.
And then we did Cozumel on our first trip, where we did discover scuba. Had learned a lot. Oh my God. I'd been told don't need to worry about cash. That was right after Hurricane Wilma.
Yes.
Kind of dated. They were still rebuilding Cozumel at the time, and we were at a little where the excursion was had a little.
It was the drink shack.
It was a drink shack. They had some food, and I thought, they on the cruise line they had told us, I don't worry about cash, just use your credit card. Took my credit card, and he's like, I just barely got my phone lines back. I don't have credit cards yet. So there's a whole long story about me going back to the ship to try to get cash and things I learned.
But in the meantime, I stayed behind for good faith, so that he would know he would come back for his wife, and so that way he'd at least get paid. He took me on a beer run. The guy who owned the shop took me on a beer run, and he was telling me, this used to be the police station, now it's a discotheque. This used to be this, and now it's this. And he took me all around. We went out and got beer for his little drink shack out on the water, and then we came back.
And we discovered the joys and the relaxation that you can get with cruising, because anytime I go on vacation, I want to go somewhere, I want to see something, I want to do something. And I don't want to just sit at the hotel. I want to go, which drives her nuts.
Well, I mean, I like going, but you like going too much.
Well,
I'm more laid back. I don't mind going, but I want to go somewhere and experience. Yeah. I want to just soak it all in. He wants to go.
Well, and cruising is a great happy medium, because I can pick out one adventure where we go and spend that day doing the adventure. Then we can get back on the ship, relax, enjoy the really good food that's on a cruise line. I had such a great time planning that trip that we've been telling you about, that we went on another one a couple of years later. We went to
5 years later.
5 years later, we went to the Baja of Mexico, and we did a tall ship. That was in Cabo.
Yeah, it was in Cabo San Lucas.
And then we went to Ensenada, where we didn't do anything. We just went and walked around. Had a walkabout. Had a good time on that one. I had fun planning that as well. She knew about that trip.
I did.
So we did a little bit together, and then we did one out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. She did a little more. She still just said, you just kind of pick it and let me do what I do. And
that was where he kind of started thinking, I think I like doing this. Maybe I ought to plan vacations.
And it kind of started there, and then that was, and then 2019, right before the pandemic, I flat out asked her, where do you want to go? We were coming up on our 20th wedding anniversary. I can't speak. And she had said she thought Greece.
I thought Greece would be wonderful.
So we traveled and spent 3 days in Venice.
Greece. Oh my gosh. We spent 3 days in, sorry, he's talking about Venice. I'm going back to Greece. Venice was wonderful. 3 days in Venice with the Italians was phenomenal. Language barriers, a little bit. Try to be careful. I'm a pharmacist's daughter, and I had a little bit of a cough while we were in Venice. So I went to a pharmacy, and I asked the pharmacist if he had Robitussin, guaifenesin, which, well, most of you guys don't, but you know what Mucinex Robitussin is. Anyway, so I asked for guaifenesin, which is the active ingredient. And he comes out and he brings me a box I've never seen before. So the first thing I do is turn it over and I start reading the ingredients, and I insulted him. I didn't mean to insult him. I just wanted to double check because it didn't look like what I thought it was going to be.
And we left Venice. We went to, now this is all pre-pandemic, we did our Greece tour, which we can talk about our Greece tour we can talk about that at length. I don't want to linger too long here. And then she helped me plan that one. We had a great time on that trip. That was a great one. If you see us on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, you may see us post pictures from our trip to Venice and Greece. It was a fantastic. The Bay of Couture, going to Olympia, Athens. Anyway, that would take a while.
We have a video of you dancing even.
Oh, I don't want to see that. And then, Dancing with the Greeks. And then this year, 3 years in the planning, I took my boys on their first cruise. We basically repeated with a little addition our first cruise. We went back to Cozumel, Costa Maya, and then we also added in Honduras, Roatan, Honduras, for our boys on a 7-day cruise on the Liberty of the Seas. This ship right
behind us.
Our boy bought and put together on as his souvenir from the trip. They had a great time, and that's at the point I you know what, I enjoy this. I want to help people, because to me, I ask you a question: how many times have you ever bought a gift for your kids and they like played with the box? There was one Christmas when our oldest son was young. He opened up
the paper. He just tore the paper off. A box!
And he was excited for a box, and you know, I mean, there's toys all over the house they bought and they sometimes play with. I enjoy my grandmother told me, make memories. And after our trip to Greece and stuff, I want to give my boys more memories, not stuff. So now I want to help people plan trips to make memories. She's enjoyed all these trips. She does say, I need a vacation from your trip sometimes.
I do.
Cruising helps that, because there's usually a couple of days where I can't plan anything. We're on the ship. It's at sea.
Days.
And I get to unwind because there's nothing I can do. And I get to relax. And
You still do tons of stuff.
yes, I do. There's tons to do on a cruise ship, which we do have a What is Cruising video.
Mm-hmm.
We may try to remake that and tweak that, or make a part 2, go in a little more depth on stuff. But anyway, so we started Places Yet to See, because we have a lot of places we want to see.
Yes.
And we've got a whole map over there on the wall where we can put pins in as we go, which is what gave us the name of Places Yet to See. So I'm Kyle.
I'm Kelly.
And we're going to be making some videos to help you if you want to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to know? How do I do something? We're going to try to make videos to help you do that.
Of course, because we think everybody should travel. Everybody should experience.
And make memories to share things, so one day when either you die and you're gone, hey, do you remember that time we were with Dad and Dad did the flow rider? There's a video of me doing a flow rider and wiping out dramatically. Or whatever it is. Make memories and tell stories to help us live life and enjoy it to the fullest. If you're interested in this, interested in what we may have to offer, you can reach out to us. We've got a couple other videos we're going to make here to help share information.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, see you guys.
Baby, get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Get up, get up, get up.